Many years ago, when I had pretty much just started NBA YouTube, I'm talking this was probably a year into me making videos, I made one video that on my former second channel, I actually went back and reacted to. And if I can remember correctly, it was basically me talking about the NBA's biggest problem, or what I thought it was as we were rounding out the 2010s. And long story short, I just didn't see where the torch was going after LeBron James. Now, this conversation is not as simple as you think it is. I'm talking about in pretty much how the NBA markets its product, the story that they wrap their arms around. So this isn't just every superstar, this isn't every MVP, this is the story that normally lasts pretty much like a decade. I think one of the reasons the NBA fan base is so uneducated about the 70s, and including myself, I'm not even gonna lie to you, is because there really wasn't that story for them to wrap their arms around after Wilt and Bill. Yes, Kareem came in, but it feels like a lot of Kareem's story really happened with Magic, even though he won before him. Just ask yourself how much you know about the 70s, and I think there's really a reason for that. You get to the 80s, Magic and Bird enter immediately. Boom, NBA wraps their arms around that. It's a rivalry, it's East versus West. Yeah, it's something versus something else in that era. The NBA didn't market that part, that just kind of happened. Either way, they were able to survive with that. I don't even have to guess how many times they played each other throughout that decade, or how many times they were in the finals. It was Celtics, Lakers, Bird, Magic. As you're rounding out the 80s, Jordan has already been drafted, and when he gets a team, boom, NBA wraps their arms around him for the 90s. That's the story, that's the player to beat, that's the team to beat. For all the years afterwards, history will keep going back to the 90s Chicago Bulls because they were that big in real time. Now, as Jordan is calling it quits, and they got really lucky on this one because I don't know where they were really going before Kobe showed up. Regardless though, take those couple of years where there wasn't a Kobe and Shaq and there wasn't dominance. Remember when Jordan retired and then we immediately had the lockout? Bro, that second time, I mean, he left and then that Knicks team made it to the finals and they weren't even using Patrick Ewing. Yeah, he got hurt. For the next few years, the finals were kind of random. It was Kobe and Shaq just stomping all over whoever showed up from the East. Yeah, the East, in a way, just kind of didn't really recover from the Bulls. That's a different video topic. Okay, though, still, as a whole, they grabbed Kobe and Shaq. That whole feud happened. Kobe did the Lone Wolf act. He's the story. And while he's the story, while he's still in his prime, the Chosen One shows up, and then he comes in his own. So now the NBA has got something that they could try to wrap their arms around. It just never ends up happening in the finals. And even then, if Kobe retires at some regular time, boom, there's LeBron to go ahead and take it. And I mean, I feel like that's kind of what happened. That people will debate all the time. The way I remember living through it is Kobe was generally accepted as the best player for a really long time. Bron came in, he was the best player. Like, that's where the torch went. Also a different video. So when I made the video I'm discussing in 2017, by that point, we were 14 years into LeBron James' career, and we were also, wow, what did he make, 6-7 straight finals by this point? And the issue was he was staying so good for so long, he kind of outlasted the guys he would have passed the torch to. I think we forgot how irregular it is because he's playing into, well, he's not playing right now, but he played into his 20th year still at a high level. Guys of his stature and players of that level don't normally sustain it past, year 14 or 15? That's where you can see the regular drop-off. So around 17, we were starting to wonder, hey, when is it going to happen? When is he going to retire? All the meanwhile, his prime had now gone from trying to battle against Kobe Bryant, and then you had battles with Dwight Howard, all these old 2000 stars, and then he's Steph's main rival. Steph, a guy who really broke out into his own on the main stage in 2015, a whole 12 years after Bron was drafted. Same thing with KD. KD drafted in the very late 2000s, and so that really did look like a torch player. In 2012, that's how we were setting it up. It was Heat Thunder, this is the battle of the decade, we know it's going to be KD one day. Instead, LeBron's prime ends up lasting alongside KD's to the point they're both just old men now. And old men who contribute, and I'm assuming LeBron will contribute when he gets back. But my point is, yes, with the guys who LeBron probably would have passed it to, he just ended up being their rivals. And then once KD did the Golden State thing, that kind of threw a wrench in this. But I was always worried, what is the NBA going to do without LeBron? Without the guy who has gone to the finals all these years in a row. He's everyone's rival. He's the Spurs rival. He's the Warriors rival. He would have been Kobe's rival. He plays a couple of times in the playoffs against Jokic. Jokic didn't even break out until 19, 20? I think his dominance was just lasting so long to the point, if he had retired any of those years in the early 20s and the late 2010s, I genuinely did not know how the NBA was going to hold up that story part that they have kind of had consistently since the 70s ended. Everyone people would name was someone that was a great player, but just didn't really have the factor that I'm talking about. So Jokic could not carry that, despite him being, and that was really one of the NBA's biggest issues with his whole thing of being nonchalant about basketball. It's like, yeah, he's one of the most incredible players of all time, but once he steps off the court, you lose all of Jokic's value, pretty much. Nobody's really going to talk about him in the offseason. Nobody's really going to wonder where he's going to go in the future or what his team is going to do. He's just Jokic. He shows up and dominates. I'm thinking more in the line of Steph, because what it takes to be in this position, it has to be extremely polarizing. The player, the situation, the stories, it has to be extremely polarizing. So, yes, Steph and KD both would have fit this, but they just ended up playing LeBron and getting old with LeBron. And I don't think the NBA has had a solution to this problem until right now. Yes, despite all the talented players, despite all these guys putting up numbers, hell, Giannis has led his team to a championship already. I truly do think Victor Wembanyama is what I was talking about in that video in 2017. He is the guy who carries every little bit of what I think it was going to take to pass that mantle, that story mantle from LeBron down to somebody else. This is the must-see player that people who don't even care about basketball know about. It's the name everyone knows around the globe no matter what. It's the guy that starts getting referenced in other parts of culture. It's the guy who looks so dominant that he might just do things we've never seen before for a really long time. And while he's starting to do those things, we're recognizing, hey, we're watching something special. The one that you can readily expect to win multiple MVPs, multiple titles, to stuff all the stats. And most importantly to this topic, carry the story. I've always said X's and O's are going to be enough for the sickos, the people who just really love basketball. That's going to be enough. But for the NBA to really push its product and to grow it, and to have it received positively, you have to invest in the things that are not the X's and O's. And I think they've actually understood that with the presentation as of late in this season. But this also goes for the player too. And this is why I say we never really, as a league and as a globe, never really wrapped our arms around Jokic the same. It's because he's a master of the X's and O's, but everything else you need for the rest of that mantle is just kind of not really there. He's not polarizing. People fake hate Jokic. Yeah, you'll definitely see that on Twitter, but it's not like the way people hated LeBron. It's not the way people hated Steph. It's not the way people hated KD. They all kind of had that. With Wemby, look, right now it's all rosy. Please do not be fooled. That hate is on the way. When people realize what a roadblock this squad is, I'm already starting to see accusations of Adam Silver having built the San Antonio Spurs. Just trust me, that hate is on the way. And in a way, that is the energy kind of necessary to sustain this story part. It sucks, but when a player like LeBron goes to a finals, the part that really blows it up is, hey, a certain portion of people are there to see him fail. When people realize the type of roadblock the San Antonio Spurs are in the future, yeah, it's on the way. But the thing about watching Wemby in real time, it just, and I'm not exaggerating, I genuinely feel like this might be what it felt like to watch the older NBA and a new generation of players show up, and you're like, wow, hold on, can the current generation of players compete with that? Do you understand that I thought this phase was over? I just thought the game was so skilled. I thought, you know, these kids coming in with trainers, this, that, and the other. I just really didn't see a way we were going to be able to recreate that. The league is too good, too skilled. You find these players when they're young. You start seeing footage of them when they're damn near in high school, actually. So it's hard to ever imagine with the tier of player in the NBA that a guy could come in and make it look amateur. I don't know if y'all are watching the same thing I'm watching. That's what I feel like I'm watching with Wemby. When I watch him drive straight into the body of Kel'el Ware, and Kel'el now looks like he's a point guard. In any other year, the athletics, the physicals on Kel'el are pretty amazing. Wow, that was crazy. You get what I'm saying? When you watch Wemby drive effortlessly into the chest of Anthony Davis and push him around, push our generational defender from the 2010s around like he is basically a G League guy, what is that not what watching Wilt felt like the first time? When he pins a shot to the glass, goes the length of the court, and then goes one leg, fades away, like basically takes a book from, or a page out of the book of Dirk. When he does a Hakeem post move, when he dribbles around his back and under his legs on a fast break because he trained with Jamal Crawford. I haven't seen any of this from a player like this. And San Antonio is 5-0 right now, not jumping the gun, but when he's asserting himself and he's putting his game together this way, where last year everyone was mad at him shooting threes, and I said, guys, the Spurs aren't good right now. They're not playing for anything. This kind of is the time for him to get that shot up, practice it, and make people respect it. And now look where we are. People have to respect it, and they can't do anything. You have to step out on the guy who can take 2 dribbles and get to the rim. You can't do anything. Defenses can't do anything. If he has any kind of help, any other playmakers, any other shooters, defenses can't do anything. We're kind of watching the same thing on I don't want to even say a smaller level, but in Milwaukee, right? The reason that team is doing well is because it's Giannis and it's a team who fits. They might not, well, hell, Ryan Rollins might just be a great player, but a lot of those guys are just role players there to fit him, and boom, Giannis is damn near averaging 40, probably right there at the top of the MVP ladder, and it's all without another superstar on the team. So, apply the same thing to Wemby. If you just give him pieces that fit, he don't even have the limitations Giannis has about the shot. Right now, I would God honestly say his bag is deeper than Giannis's. It is. I sounded confused when I said that. No, it's deeper than Giannis's. This has to be what it felt like to watch players come in and make the rest of the league look outdated. And because the league has that, they are in a great position. And also, you have this at the same time that you have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I just touted as the perfect team on my other channel. They are both in the same conference. They are both young. They will probably be going at it, God willing, for the next decade. This is actually a step up from what I was requesting almost 10 years ago when I made that video. I was just looking for the guy LeBron could pass to, that he could wrap his arms around and just keep things going. And instead, they have a generational player who looks like he's raising the bar of what's possible on a basketball court. That I don't know if that's what I was really looking for. I didn't really think it was possible. I was basically looking for a Jokic type who also had the LeBron extracurricular stuff going on, if that makes sense. That's where I say, okay, the league is good, they can go forward. LeBron, you can rest now. Well, here, 22 years after LeBron was drafted, yeah, it took that long, but I think he can rest now. He really can. Either way, let me know in the comment section what you were thinking about the league today. I love the direction. I think, at least in one conference, they've got everything they need. The only thing that could be better is if OKC and Wemby were in different conferences. If you enjoyed this video, like button, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 bell. If you're just seeing this channel in your feed for the first time, it is my new second channel. And if you did like the VODs on this one, because this was VOD 2K, I mentioned the first time, they are in a playlist. So you can still go back and see all the Sims.